Hey there, Joomla fans. Tim Davis here. I'm a Joomla fan too. Today, I'm not coming from MacGregor, Manitoba. Though I was in MacGregor, Manitoba in April of this year, and that's when I shot this video on my phone. And if you want to see the full video of this train going by, I'll put a link in the description below. Recently in the Joomla group on Facebook, there's been some discussions about the trials and travails of developing a template or a new template on a live site. And oftentimes what people do is they'll make a copy of the site that the new template is for, and they will work on that template and get everything together on a separate development site. And then once everything is perfect, they'll move the template back over to the live site. But that can create some complications, especially if the template is for a live site that people are adding content to. Because if you have a copy of the site and you've put the new template on it and you just want to move that copy over and make that the live site, people who have added content, or if there's been changes by other users, then you're kind of stuck. You have to merge all these things together. But there is a way to develop a template for a new site, a live site, right on the live site without people even knowing that you're doing it. And that's what this tutorial is about. We're going to take a look at two examples. One's a very basic example of how to do this, but then there's another, the second example is a more complex one, but it's a more common solution or a more common situation that developers run into when they're trying to hot swap a new template onto a live Joomla site. So let's head on over to the computer and check it out. Now, before we go and look at how to develop a new template on a live Joomla site so that nobody else can see what is taking place or that is being developed, I just want to thank you for your support of this channel and appreciate you tuning in. If you haven't already subscribed and you think that it's a worthwhile endeavor, that would be great. Please click the subscribe button, which I think is down there, either that or it's in the other corner. And ring that bell so you get notifications not only of new tutorials, but of new live streams when they come out. And give the video a like. That would be great. Okay, let's head on over to the computer here. Change our attention to the screen. We're here at the basicjoomla.com site. This site is live. And even though maybe from previous tutorials you have seen that I don't mind having an ugly site to do a tutorial on, I'm trying to keep this one looking good for when people swing by. So I'm going to change a template, add a template to this live site as an example. And as I said in introduction, we're going to look at a simple example of how to do this, and then a more complex one. First, a simple example. Let's go into the back end of the site. And I'm already at extensions and templates. And what I've done ahead of this tutorial is I've installed from Rocket Theme, Hydrogen. It's a Gantry 5 template, but we're going to look at that as the more complex example later on. And that second example is going to help you whether or not you use Rocket Theme templates. It's just basically having a second template of some type. But first of all, what we're going to do is go down to Protostar, and I'm going to click the box next to it, and I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to make a second instance of Protostar. There it is. Now let's click on the title. Protostar default 2. Why don't I just make this, we'll just name it copy. And I'm going to make some changes to this template. Basically, I'm going to change the color of the template. Let's go with something that's a nice orange. And the background color. Let's go with something that is, let's see, it's already blue. Let's go with a pink. It's not going to look very good, but that's all right. Basically, you can make whatever changes that you want to, but that will be enough for our purposes. So I'm going to save and close that. So now we have a second version of Protostar template that we can play around with. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new article. So go Content, Articles, Add New Article. And we're going to give it a title. New template test. Of course, you could name it whatever you want. And I'm going to put some text in here. Now, I'm going to use from Regular Labs dummy content. And basically, I can insert all kinds of ipsum lorem and all kinds of stuff just to make just to play around with the layout of something. So we're just going to go insert content, and that'll put in some nice random stuff for us here to use. That's great. The next thing that we're going to do over here, I don't know why it shows trash. Oh, probably because I'm in trash in the module in the articles manager. I'm going to make this published, but I want to make sure that search engines, at least the ones that pay attention to robots.txt, don't pick this up when they're by the site, because remember, this is a live site. So go to publishing, and I'm going to go to robots, and I'm going to go no index, no follow. So that will hide this page from the better search engines. Some search engines don't pay attention to those things. Basically, so we have this new template here, this new article, and we're going to save, and we're going to close that. The next thing that we want to do is to create a new menu. There's why that trash was showing there. Let's create a new menu. So I'm going to click on menus, and I'm going to go manage and add new menu. Let's just call this new template. We're not even going to use this menu, but we want it to be existing there. Call it new template, and the description is new template. You can see as these things are popping up that I've done some experimenting here before. And we're going to save and close this new menu. Now the last thing that we need to do is create a menu item. And so we will click on menu items, we will click new, and that menu item we're going to call new template test in this case. All right. Now, at this point, you could make this any kind of menu item type that you want. That especially, you can change this later on for different types to see how your new template looks in those sections for those different menu types. But what I'm going to do is just link this to an article, and we're going to link to the single article that we just created, which is new template test. Now again, we're going to go to metadata for this menu item, and we're going to go to robots, and again we're going to select no index, no follow. Now let's go back to details, because there's one more thing we need to do. Over here we're going to select the menu that this item is appearing on, this menu item appears on, and we're going to select the new template menu. Now what's significant about putting it on the new template menu is this menu appears nowhere. It's not appearing on the live site anywhere. It's actually not even going to appear on the experimental template. So what we've done is we've created a menu item, assigned it to a menu that is not going to show up anywhere, but it is going to help us to find a URL that we can assign. Before we do that, let's go template style. Let's assign this menu item to protostar copy. Now we could go, there's a number of ways that we could do that. You could go into the template area, and you could assign that to be the template for this menu link, but we have the convenience of doing it right here. So we've got the template style in, we've assigned it to this new template that we've made. That's everything that we need to do. I'm just going to save this. I'm not going to save and close, because I want you to see now we're going to view this link. And I'm going to go up here to the top right. Now you'll notice I have the option to go right to that single article. That's because I'm using Regular Labs Better Preview, which is available from the Regular Labs site. Of course, and I will put drop-down cards and or links to all of these different extensions and things I refer to in the video description below. So let's preview this new single article that we've made. And you will notice there's the article, and here it is in the template that's copied with that pink that we made. It's not too much orange. There's orange in the links there. But as you can see, this article appears nowhere on the live site where people can see it. Because right now there's only on my basic Joomla site, home, giveaways, and Joomla tutorials. And so basically what we have here is a site that we can, a template that we can now play around with simply by viewing this URL. Now, you might not always want to go back into the menu items and then do the template preview. So basically just right click and copy that URL and paste it somewhere so that you can always refer back to it. But if you do want to find it again, simply go into the menu item for it and go up to the preview. If you're not using Better Preview, you just click home. You're not going to find it. So the object of this, again, is to hide this page from everybody and the search engines so that you can experiment. So now to experiment, if we close this here, this tab, let's go to Extensions and Templates. And we will go to Protostar Copy. And let's say we didn't really like that pink very much. We want something that's more of a green. Let's go with that there. We save this. Now you notice that I have another extension from Regular Labs, Cache Cleaner. Every time I save something, it empties the cache. That's really great because when you're developing a template, you can actually end up going back to a preview, refreshing, and seeing something served up from the cache of your Joomla site if you're using caching. So just for the ease of developing, I use Cache Cleaner, and it cleans the cache when you save, but also puts a handy button there, and there's also a handy clean cache button down here. Let's go over to this tab here. Now we can refresh, and you get the idea. We're working on this template. We're making changes to this, but as we go to the rest of the site, it is the same old template that we had before. Now, one of the challenges of working with a copy of this basic template, like that we've done with Protostar, is that if I want to change some of the formatting to this module, it makes it complicated because I will in fact be making changes to a live module that appears on the live site. So if you don't want to mess around with the look of it, you're kind of stuck in that sense with this particular template. Although I'm sure someone out there can find a more complex or a more elegant solution even with Protostar. But I do want, so let's move on to the more complex example of how you can edit and modify the modules on your live site within the new template without wrecking the look of the old template. Because remember, this is our goal. We don't want our users and we don't want our clients that we're working on sites for to see that we've messed up the site trying to fix things. So what I'm going to do here is we will go back to templates. I'm going to close this Protostar copy, and I'm going to go. I'm going to go into the new template now. Let's click on. We'll just go hydrogen default. I'm going to go up here and I'm going to assign hydrogen default through to the menu item down here that we made called new. Oh, here we go. New template test. So by doing this, I'm actually unassigning Protostar copy to from this menu thing, and I'm assigning this template to it. Now, don't get too lost in the too lost in the sense of me using Rocket Theme here. You would do this however you would assign the new template that you're adding to your site that you want to work on. However it is used, however it is assigned to menu items, that's what you're going to do. But this step here is important because I need to assign this template to the new page that I've made. Now, when I refresh, it looks like, am I going to get the old green site? Yes, because saving here does not clean the cache with Cache Cleaner. That's why we have this handy dandy button down here at the bottom. We'll clean the cache there. Then I'm going to go back up here and I'm going to refresh. And now here's the Gantry 5 template that I've just assigned to the test page, and now we're seeing it in here. Next, what I'm going to do is, I can start to add modules and other elements to this new template layout. But you don't, again, if we change existing modules, that's going to break the live site. So what we want to do here for the purposes of development is go to extensions and modules, and I'm going to go open that in a new tab. Here are the modules that I have on the current site.
Sorry to interrupt myself, but I forgot to mention that I use Advanced Module Manager from Regular Labs as well. So my module management area will look different than yours if you are using the stock module manager in Joomla.
Let's go to the search tools and select the status for those that are published. And let's go down to, let's see, here's the YouTube channel subscribe button. And the subscribe button, YouTube subscribe basic Joomla. I'm going to click this module and I'm going to duplicate it. And I don't see it, but I realize why I don't see it, because I'm only showing what is published here. So let's clear the filter here, and then we will sort by the ID in this column here. Here's the module here that we just made a copy of, subscribe to. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, because this is unpublished, and which is great because otherwise it would be showing up on the live site, I'm going to go in, I'm going to delete the position so it's not assigned anywhere. All right, and I'm going to, we'll just leave this subscribe to. But down here in the description, I'm going to change this to, that's even just for something to grab attention, new template, YouTube subscribe basic Joomla. All right, we'll just even leave the title as subscribe to. And we will go save and close. Now, at this point, what you would do is you would add this module to your new template, whichever it is, in whatever way your template system does. You may very well, if we just go back into subscribe to here, you may very well put in the position that exists on your template. Now, you want to make sure that the new template does not have the same template names or template positions as your old template. Otherwise, you're going to mess up your live site. And again, this is where it gets more complex. You need to be keeping track of everything, know your module positions, understand how your old template works and what your new template looks like, and how it's constructed and what its module areas or positions are like, so there's not, just to make sure there's not overlap. In this case, for me, I don't even need to put a position in, because what I'm going to do is we'll just close this here. I will now go to the layout for this hydrogen template, and I'm going to assign it to a spot on this template. Now, it just so happens with Rocket Theme, you can have a base layout and all your other layouts will draw from it unless you turn that off. So I'm actually going to go to the base outline and very quickly just go, here's our page content module. I'm going to take a module instance and I'm going to put it into there. The way it works in this system, I'll give that 25%. And then I'm going to click the gear. And what module do I want to put in here? I want to put in subscribe to. There, I remember the name. I go select. I apply and save. I go down here and clean the cache. I go to the new template test page. I refresh. And I see that it doesn't appear. So I've missed something. Let me go back to the module manager and look. Oh yes, it's not published. So I will publish that. That's an important step. Clean the cache. Go back to the page and refresh. And now we see that it does appear. So now I can continue to modify this new template the exact way that I want, creating menus to go wherever I want them to. Now this menu here is showing up from the live site also, so I'll have to be careful to make my own menu for the top here and add other modules and change the CSS and change the colors and everything that I can do with this template. And you will do the same with your new template. But all of this is happening without there being any disruption to the live site. It's all happening in the background. And the advantage of that is, if this site were a site that a lot of people were adding content to, or you're working on a site for a client and they're adding content and you have duplicated this site and taken it somewhere to work on the new template and then bring it back to make it live, you've got to somehow incorporate the new content that was added. You have to somehow move it. It can become very complicated. Sometimes that's your only option for the kind of updating that you want to do. But in this case, and in a lot of cases, you can get away with having a template, a new template on a Joomla site that is live, work on the new template until it's exactly how you want. And then, of course, what you're going to do is you're going to take that new template and make it the default template for the site, switching everything over just like that. And saving you a lot of effort, if you can, through those other steps. So I hope that that was helpful for you, and I hope that that turns out to be a handy tutorial, some handy steps to save you a lot of the pain and grief of modifying a new template on a live Joomla site. So if this tutorial was helpful and if I've earned it, please subscribe, ring that bell so you get notification of new tutorials and live streams. And hey, do you have any other suggestions for what could be incorporated, or some different ways or methods that could be built into this process here? Maybe I've missed something. Maybe there's another way to handle it or to approach it. Leave a comment in the comment section below. So thank you again for your support of this channel. Thanks for tuning in. As always, enjoy your Joomla sites. God bless.